Para, relájate. Mira este video hasta el final y aprende español ahora y para siempre. Repite después de mí. Maura es la mejor profesora de español. Maura soy yo, una de las profesoras de Spring Spanish. And if you haven't guessed it yet, today you're learning how to use the imperative mood in Spanish. Also useful outside of hypnosis. As always, you're going to learn through chunks. So, presta mucha atención. Yes, another imperative. Y empecemos. Número 1. What's the imperative mood? So, primero lo primero. What does this mood do apart from hypnotizing people? Check out the following example and let's see what you can gather from that.
Llámame cuando llegues y llévate medias extra que eso siempre hace falta. Y por favor ponte protector solar todos los días. Que sí, déjame terminar de hacer la maleta en paz y después revísala tú y así te quedas más tranquila. Ok, ten en cuenta que puede que haga más frío de lo que parece. Amanda. Vale, cállate Amanda, ya entendí.
As you can see, we're both basically telling each other what to do. More specifically, this imperative mood works for instructions, orders, petitions, and advice towards one or more people. It is one of those regularly used moods you can find in everyday conversations and many more scenarios like classes of any kind, any place you get a service from, and almost every piece of advertisement. Let's go through some examples for each so you can see it even more clearly. A. Instructions. Encoge los hombros, respira profundo y déjalos caer. Pon el audífono correspondiente en cada oreja y deja presionado hasta que el aparato emita un pitido. Separa el cabello en 3 secciones iguales y cubre la del medio con las laterales, alternando lados mientras trenzas. B. Orders. ¡Déjame en paz! No me llames más nunca. Olvídate de mí. Aguanta esto. For this last one, there are almost as many versions as countries in Latin America. Some people say coge esto, some agarra esto, some toma esto. I mostly use aguantar. Also, use the first 2 orders if you ever have a very telenovela type of breakup with the Spanish speaker. C. Petitions. Hazme el favor de pasarme la cartera. Dame un limón, porfa. Porfis, ven y cuéntame qué pasó. Essentially, petitions are orders made nicely. D. Advice. Llámala cuanto antes porque estaba súper molesta cuando la vi. Pregúntale a tu tía. Ella seguro puede recomendarte un buen terapeuta. Búscalo en YouTube. Debe haber un buen tutorial, a juro. Junk alert! You have got to learn a juro because you're learning Spanish with me and Venezuelans use this all the freaking time. Yo no soy para nada la excepción. I believe only Colombians use it as well. Here in Spain and even in Mexico, they use the equivalent a huevo, for example. It's the same concept. Something that has to be, must be, definitely is. If you want to use a juro and feel like a true Venezuelan/Colombian, put it at the beginning or at the end of anything that has to be. Like, con este video tienes que aprender a usar el imperativo a juro. Also, a juro, go get our free Essential Spanish Chunking Kit through that link in the description if you haven't done it yet. Número 2. The imperative mood in the present tense. Before we jump into the conjugation, be sure to stick till the end because we'll cover some of the most common chunks in the imperative we natives use on a constant basis.
Está bien, pero mete un suéter más grueso por si acaso. Está muy bien. ¿Algo más, señorita Amanda Preocupación? Lo último, asegúrense de revisar qué moteles tienen en la vía por si se cansan de manejar. Eso está listo y nosotros también, así que ya quédese tranquila, por favor.
From this dialogue we get: mete un suéter más grueso por si acaso. Asegúrense de revisar qué moteles tienen en la vía. Ahora ya quédese tranquila. The main thing for you to get here is that since we're talking about instructions, orders, and the sort, this mood only conjugates itself like you saw in the dialogue, around tú, usted, and ustedes. La única otra cosa que puedes hacer es hacerlo negativo o afirmativo. 3. How to conjugate olvidar in the imperative mood. Let's put all of this into a little table so you can see it clearly. But remember, it's not meant for you to memorize. Focus on the many chunks used in this lesson instead. Pick your favorites, try using them and detecting them when listening to Spanish, and you'll be better off. Let's get very dramatic and use olvídate de mí as our sample chunk, shall we? For tú, we use olvídate. Olvídate de mí in the affirmative. No te olvides de mí in the negative. Usted, formal you, olvídese. Olvídese de mí. No se olvide de mí. Ustedes, plural you. Olvídense. Olvídense de mí. No se olviden de mí. This chunk in the negative actually stops being so dramatic. And it's more the type of thing you tell people to ask them to include you in something. Like, if somebody's counting the people that are coming to a dinner party, you can say, no se olviden de mí, to ask them to include you. Número 4. Super common chunks in the imperative.
Maura, ¿qué? Ven, ya voy. Porfa, ponle la comida al gato que ya es la hora. Ok, dame un segundo y se la pongo.
So, all of these verbs in the imperative show up in my life almost on a daily basis. Ven, ponle la comida al gato, dame. You can use ven y dame on their own or specify even more. Common combinations could be: ven rápido, dame un beso, ponle orégano a la salsa, or any ingredient to anything you're cooking. There's a couple more that are just as useful but make no sense in the dialogue. Llámame, toma, avísame. Again, these work well on their own, but you can pair them up with many things, such as llámame cuando llegues, avísame cuando sepas, toma porfa. Toma might be the hardest one to pair up. It took me a while to think of something actually common to put next to it. I think the most usual will definitely be to use it on its own. As a little practice, I'll advise this. Google the following: anuncios publicitarios en español imperativo. Check the examples and write down all the imperatives you can find. These will certainly be some of the most common, and now you can add them to your imperative repertoire. Now, the imperative is quite a straightforward mood that will certainly make you feel like a native, but of course, there are other moods, granted more complex ones, that can elevate that feeling even more. Let Mariana make the scary subjuntivo easy and continue this lesson with her right here.